Hey there, I'm going to see if I can make a half decent length video on this phone because I've tried recently and it keeps saying that I have no storage. And I'm about as technical as dryer lint and it probably is full, so I always have to delete all the pictures. And anyway, I haven't made a video for a while. When I first started keto over 18 months ago, it was May 4th, so 2018. And I had had a heart attack at 58 and I was unhealthy. I was on all those meds. They put me on all those meds, the statins and the blood pressure and the beta blockers, and I felt horrible. And that whole year after the heart attack and after I had the stent put in, I just was just sick, and I actually got up to over 230 pounds, and so I decided that I had to turn the ship around. So I started keto, and it worked, and for gosh, about the first 5 or 6 months I was really strict on it, and it was working good, and I was down like 25 pounds. And then I'd stall, and then I'd have a cheat, and then I'd go back on, and it was just, but I had an awful lot of benefits from it. With anxiety and depression, all of my autoimmune, I had a whole fucking neck full of skin tags. They were all gone. I had ulcerative colitis that I had had since my 30s because I'd just been carboning up my whole life. I mean, like, I'm 61 now, and my whole life has been food, you know, and how I was fed and how I fed my kids, and it was all about food. And I've been trying since I was a teenager to actually lose weight. I've always been fat and unhealthy. And I tried everything. God, back in the 70s, it was actually Jane Fonda had a record. It was aerobics, and it was LP, and you had 4 more, 3 more, and then I actually lost weight in my teens, and when I look back at pictures, oh my fuck, I was gorgeous. I wasn't fat. Fuck you, society. Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, that I lost weight with AIDS, not the disease. The candy, just a little caramel, you pop that in your mouth and that was your lunch. And so just decade after decade, baby after baby, Weight Watchers and tops and sweating to the oldies, but always thinking about food, always, when am I going to have my next meal? It was well, it's an addiction now, and I actually should have realized that a long time ago, because I struggled with smoking cigarettes for decades, and that was a hell of an addiction. And it reminds me of this, because I'll always be a puff away from a pack a day. I've been off them this time for over 7 years, but I've had long quits before, and all it would take is a puff. And I have learned that with carbs, that I have no restraint, that I'm addicted to them. And actually just this past Christmas, actually just last month at work, I work in old folks home. And so all of the residents, family, every Christmas they bring in treats, chocolates and cookies. And, you know, if it isn't there, you know, I had been so strict, and I hadn't had any sugar for months, and all it took was one cookie. And for a solid week, every time I walked into the nurse's station, I was just shoveling the shit down my yap. And I thought, oh, Charlotte, here you go again. You know, God, you were so gung-ho, keto's gonna, you know. So I started carnivore. I was supposed to start January 1st, but I actually started on the 2nd, because, well, I ate meat on the 1st, but then I had a little cheat. I don't even remember what it was, but I can remember thinking, fuck, you blew it the first day. But since the 2nd, I've been strict, except for I drink coffee. And the only other plant that I have coffee, there was 3. Oh, a little bit of booze, just some vodka and soda, and I smoke weed. But I don't eat any vegetables or any fruit, and I cannot believe it. But what I was saying about quitting the cigarettes, that's what this reminds me of, is the freedom from it, you know. And so every time, because old habits die hard, and as I said, I mean, I have no restraint. It's like, but if I'm off it, and I found that with keto, and really with carnivore, that after you take hunger and cravings out of the equation, you have the upper hand, you have a fighting chance. And my whole life I have been ruled by cravings and food and hunger, shopping for food and cooking food and feeding people. And it's just, it's just how I was showing love, and it's how I show love too. And then also the sugar addiction. I mean, it's like it's that, like it starts and that's it. Boom, 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 boom. So